Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning and welcome to the first part of Belmont's Open Morning. My name's Leon Roberts, I'm the head of Belmont, and I know that we're going to be seeing some of you for a tour later on this morning. Fingers crossed that the weather's going to improve a little bit. And I'm sorry that we can't see everyone for the presentation in school, but hopefully we'll be able to do that at the next Open Morning. The benefit of being in the comfort of your own home, however, is that you can watch our talk, listen to the presentation in the comfort of your own home, in your pajamas, eating your breakfast, and you've also got the additional benefit of being able to put me onto mute whenever you want to. So just taking you through the format of this first hour or so, I'm going to introduce you to some key people from the Belmont team. Then we're going to have our presentation, and part of that presentation you're going to be able to hear from our head boy and girl, Leo and Zarina. And we're going to have about 20 minutes or so after the presentation for questions. So for that, we're going to be using the Q&A facility. We're not using the chat. The chat's been disabled. And we're not going to be answering any questions during the presentation, because hopefully a lot of the questions that you might have will be addressed and answered during the presentation. But when the presentations are finished, we will take questions from the Q&A facility, and we'll answer as many of them as we can live. Obviously, if you're coming in for a tour today, there's an opportunity to ask lots of questions then as well. For those of you that aren't able to have a tour today, there is an opportunity if you want to get in touch with Irene. Irene, give us a wave. Head of admissions, we can arrange one-to-one tours during a normal school day. Obviously with COVID secure restrictions in place. We're also going to be having another open morning on October the 9th. So hopefully we'll be able to have a lot more tours then. But obviously because of the current circumstances, the number of tours we can deliver today is restricted. So I'm going to introduce you to some people. I've mentioned who I am on the head. I'm going to talk a bit more about myself in a moment. We've got Paul Symes. Paul is our Senior Deputy Head Pastoral.
Good morning, everyone.
And Paul, I cannot believe it, I'm just about talking to him now, but he's leaving us after outstanding service as Deputy Head, and before that he was Head of Boys Games here. But Paul's going on to headship at Old Whitbury, fantastic prep school up in Harpenden, but I'm not going to big him up too much because I don't want him poaching any of you. But taking over from Paul, I'm delighted to introduce Corinne Scanlon, who's going to be our new Deputy Head Pastoral from September. So, hi Corinne. So Corinne is currently at St Paul's School for Girls. She's the head of middle school there. And we're really excited about her coming north of the river and bringing a wealth of expertise with her. So welcome, Corinne, to your first open morning as well.
I'm so delighted to be joining this team. I'm really excited. This is a school that is amazing, where its children are the most phenomenal ambassadors for what is just a wonderful, thriving community.
Great, thank you, Corinne, and we're looking forward to you starting as well. Next, I'm going to introduce you to Mrs. Jen Lumsden. Jen is our Deputy Head Academic.
Morning, everybody.
So Jen's responsible for overseeing teaching and learning, and she's currently busy reviewing our timetable, trying to work some magic, trying to make sure we've got enough time for our English and Maths, increasing that time, but also trying to increase some time for our art and DT and computing as well. So she's doing a fantastic job. Next, we've got our Deputy Head Operations and Co-Curricular, James Fleet.
Good morning, everyone.
So James is responsible for the day-to-day running of the school, the wraparound care as well, and he loves a risk assessment, and he's never been busier the last 18 months with the challenges that we've had. So, but we're looking forward to doing some more exciting risk assessments in the coming weeks, as we're hoping to get back to normal with things like residential trips that James is going to be heavily involved with. Next, I've got Rachel Southerns, who's our Head of Lower School.
Good morning, everyone.
And Rachel has pastoral as well as some academic oversight of our children in year 3, 4 and 5. She's also from Wales, so blame her for the weather today. Next, I'm going to introduce, it was a new position that started in September. It's Assistant Head Pupil and Staff Wellbeing, and that's Mrs. Libby Russo.
Good morning.
Libby has been super busy because we've got our Wellbeing Week next week, so there's a plethora of different activities for the children to get involved with, and Libby's doing a fantastic job at a really important time to be supporting both pupil and staff wellbeing. Next, also a new position from last September is our Assistant Head Teaching and Learning, Mrs. Claire Smith.
Hello, everybody.
And the fact that this position was created just demonstrates our commitment to really continue to enhance our teaching and learning offering. We're constantly looking at ways to get the best educational offer for the children. And also a new position recently in September is our Assistant Head Digital Learning, Mr. Peter Fannon.
Good morning.
And as you can imagine, Peter has had a busy 18 months or so with getting online learning off the ground and done an absolutely fantastic job there. He's also got some really exciting plans in place for our next steps for digital learning. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Lottie Goldthorpe.
Good morning, everybody.
Lottie is our Director of Sport and Activities, and Lottie's going to be, if you're on a tour today, Lottie's going to be based in the sports hall, and she'll talk to you passionately about the sports opportunities here. But Lottie's been instrumental in helping us merge some new partnerships, which we'll talk more about on the sporting front a little bit later on. Next, we've got our enthusiastic Director of Music, Georgina Perrin.
Morning.
And George oversees all the music lessons here, but she also is in charge of all the peripatetic teachers that come into school to teach one-to-one lessons with the children. I've also got our Director of Learning Support with us this morning, Mrs. Louise Waters.
Morning, everyone.
And Louise oversees the care of all the children who might need some additional support. She manages, we've also got a Senko in lower school and a Senko in upper school, who Louise line manages, as well as an EAL coordinator. And finally, the last grown-up I'm going to introduce you to is Irene Manfredi. It's debatable. Is Irene Manfredi, Head of Admissions, who you will be liaising with closely if you are interested in trying to secure a place at Belmont. So Irene is very busy throughout the year overseeing our admissions process.
Morning, everyone.
And finally, last but certainly not least, we have our head girl and head boy, Zarina and Leo.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
And you'll be hearing from those two a little bit later on this morning as well. So that's some key people, but you're going to get to meet, if you're on a tour in the next hour, 2 hours or so, you're going to get to meet many more staff. There's going to be heads of department based in classrooms around the school. And normally we get our children to do the tours if you're on a tour today. Unfortunately, we're not doing that today, but we've got the teachers doing it. And bear with us, because many of them will be out of their comfort zones because they've never done a tour before. Ironically, the children have probably done more tours than the teachers. But I really hope, although you can't get to hear things directly from the children other than our head boy and head girl today, I really hope you get a valuable experience when you come in a little bit later on or at a later date. So just a little bit about my background. That's my hometown. I didn't grow up in a ruined castle, but that's Ashby Castle in Ashby-de-la-Zouch, which is based in East Midlands. That's where I grew up, where I went to school. It is the home of hula hoops, KP hula hoops and mini cheddars. So obviously very proud of my heritage. And then after going to Ashby Grammar School, I went to Lancaster University, studied history, continued to do my PGCE and became a history teacher, moved down to London, taught for a number of years in secondary schools in the North London area, and then went to a prep school in London, in Winchmore Hill. Was head of history there and sort of had some curriculum responsibility, and moved to Belmont in 2004, where I was deputy head academic. So I've been here for 16 years. This is my 17th year. So it shows how much I've loved the place. I've been deputy academic, I've been senior deputy pastoral, and this is my 6th year as head of this school. And I absolutely love this school, the children, the staff, and the whole environment here. It's a really special place, and I feel privileged to be the head of this school. I'm a father. Sarah and I have got 3 daughters. We've got an 11-year-old and 9-year-old twins who are 10 in about a week's time. So Sarah and I are really looking forward to the teenage years. But the point is, I'm in a position where I feel I have a good understanding of the challenges that you are all facing as parents. And one of those choices and challenges you face is choosing the right school for your child. So who are we then? The Mill Hill Foundation. We're a family of schools. Belmont's part of a family of actually 5 schools now. So we have Grimsdale, our pre-prep, and most of the children from Grimsdale join Belmont into year 3, and we top up with a handful of children at 7+. Then Belmont, we're co-educational. We're 550 children at the moment from the ages of 7 to 13. We're 51%, 52% boys, 48, 49% girls, and 95% of our children in year 8 will go on to Mill Hill, and they'll achieve some fantastic results and go to some wonderful universities. We also have an international school, which used to be the Mount, that we merged with a few years ago, and it's the through curriculum and the transfer of children is from Grimsdale to Belmont and Mill Hill, but some children from Mill Hill International will move on to Mill Hill Sixth Form. Others, we are hoping, will be going to this school, Cobham Hall, which is the 5th school now to join the Mill Hill School Foundation. They merged with us earlier in the year. It's a girls' school based in Kent, with boarding and with a focus on international boarding, and it's an absolutely beautiful site, fantastic, and we're already working closely with Cobham, and our children in year 5, 6 and 7 are going to be staying in an overnight camp down there later on this term. So we're looking forward to making the most of their 150 acres of land. So that's the Mill Hill School Foundation and where Belmont fits into the foundation. But what do we stand for as a school at Belmont? Well, we believe that if children are happy, if they're engaged, and if they're challenged, that they're far more likely to thrive. And Belmontians experience a broad academic curriculum and an exciting co-curricular programme, but all in the context of a warm and nurturing environment. We really want to instill a lifelong love of learning in the children and enable each one of them, every single child, to be the best version of themselves. We're a values-driven school, and we involved the children in this a few years ago. We created some really simple Belmont values that the children and staff can buy into, and these values are absolutely embedded into everything that we do, from our curriculum to weekly themes and assemblies, and even within our behaviour policy. So our 3 values, and if you ask any of the children what they are, they will know, is number 1, be kind. And that is the most important one, particularly in the society and the challenges that we face at the moment. Looking out for one another is the most important thing. Having empathy, putting yourself in other people's shoes. The second value is try your best, because I think as a school and as parents, that's all we can ask for. If your child has given it their best shot, then that's fantastic. That's what we want to see. And the third value is embrace challenge. There are going to be times when we're faced with obstacles and difficulties and challenges, and we need to try and overcome those or work ways around them. And we need to see challenges as an opportunity that can be embraced. We are a growth mindset school, and whether your child is having a struggle with their learning or with their friendships, or they're just going through a difficult time at home, we're here to support and to help them and to encourage them and to get them to persevere and to develop resilience as well, which is really important, because we are living in an age of upheaval. And apologies, I don't want to depress you very early on a Saturday morning when you've just got out of bed, but our children are growing up in a time that's very different to the time that we grew up in. And there's a lot more challenges. There's a lot more amazing things that we didn't have, but there's more challenges as well. And you know about the exponential rate of growth in technology and the rise of robots and AI, and that is creating uncertainty about the future jobs market for children who are in school at the moment. We all know about the challenge of climate change that's hanging over us. We know that the internet is a wonderful thing, but also social media can negatively impact on our children's well-being. The other issue as well is children knowing, and for us knowing what to believe in, what's true and what isn't, the challenge of fake news. And obviously we know more than anything about the disruption and tragedy caused by the pandemic over the last year or so. It's caused huge disruption and brought upheaval to all of our lives. We were fortunate enough, it was just on Thursday actually, Professor Andrew Pollard came in and spoke to our children in year 6, 7 and 8 about the journey in developing the Oxford vaccine. So Andrew Pollard, I'm sure you'll have seen him on the TV or read about him. He's the head of the Oxford vaccine group, and it was an incredible story. And he talked about the struggles and the challenges that they faced. But most interestingly, one of the biggest challenges, he says, is about the battle against fake news and false stories emerging on the internet about the vaccine. And that's one of the things that they have found most difficult. So we need to be making sure that the children are able to look at things critically and understand and analyze and have an appreciation of what is truthful and what isn't. So this is the environment and the society that we're living in at the moment. So how do we prepare our children for an uncertain and sometimes what looks like a volatile future? Well, this chap here, Yuval Noah Harari, you'll know him as author of Sapiens and Homo Deus. He spoke at Davos in 2020 at the World Economic Forum, and he spoke about how to survive the 21st century. And it's on YouTube, so you can have a look at that. But also, a couple of years ago, he wrote a book, 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. And in this book, he talks about education and how we prepare our children. And he says this, he says that many pedagogical experts argue that schools should switch to teaching the 4 C's: critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and creativity. These are elements, these are soft skills that we're trying to embed in our education here at Belmont. He talks also about how it's important to be able to deal with change, to be able to reinvent yourself, to be adaptable, to be resilient. And these are skills that are absolutely vital in the age of uncertainty and disruption. And Jen at Lumsden is going to talk now about how broad our curriculum is and how important the knowledge is and how exciting it is, the children's learning, but also how we blend the soft skills in with that important acquisition of knowledge, because we really want to prepare our children for this age of disruption. So I'm going to hand over to Jen.
Thank you, Leon. Yes, good morning, everyone. Yeah, we've worked really hard over the last few years and continue to work on creating a rigorous, a rich, a diverse curriculum that goes well beyond the national curriculum. And we pride ourselves in that broad offer, which includes obviously the right balance of academic subjects, but also those creative subjects, technological subjects, sports education. We try to get the right balance, and we feel we do get the right balance on our timetable. For example, our Key Stage 2 curriculum includes lots of opportunities for cross-curricular learning. We have our creative learning project in our lower school, which is years 3 to 5, where the pupils work on themes and they link a lot of their learning into that theme. So it really helps embed their understanding across the curriculum. And our Key Stage 3 curriculum has been developed in consultation with our senior school, so that effectively the 5 years from year 7 up through to GCSE is smooth, and that there is a good progression of skills so that the children are well prepared for their GCSE and for the demands of the GCSEs. One of the things that we are most proud of is our staff. We have a mixture of primary trained teachers in our lower school and secondary trained teachers in our upper school, who are all passionate about instilling that love of learning in our pupils. So in years 3 to 5, as I've mentioned, the pupils will be taught mainly by their primary trained form tutor, but they would also have specialist teachers in things like DT, art, PE, games, computing. So lots of specialist teaching, even from the earlier years. From year 6, which is what we call our upper school, year 6 to 8, all of the pupils are taught by their specialist trained teachers. So they have a huge wealth of knowledge and of passion about their subjects, which they instill in the children. All of our lessons are differentiated. So no matter where your child is on their learning journey, they're going to be challenged, they're going to be pushed, and they're going to progress further. If you can click onto our next page, thank you, Mr. Roberts. So this love of learning is also enhanced by the growth mindset attitude that Leon mentioned, because as educators, we believe it's our duty not just to impart the knowledge of the curriculum, but also to help those pupils, to help our pupils develop those skills for the future. So we do include in our lessons problem solving, we include opportunities for independent thinking, but we also include in our curriculum emotional intelligence, adaptability, confidence, creativity. All of those things help to give the pupils a stronger belief in themselves to move forward. And as we said, the growth mindset is what we instill in the children, that we don't believe that intelligence is fixed. We believe that through the power of practice and picking yourself up when you make a mistake, that you are going to learn and you're going to move on further. So we are taught to embrace our mistakes at Belmont, that fail is our first attempt in learning, and that we don't see them as problems, but we see them as opportunities to learn and to move on. And to build on those soft skills further, we also have on our curriculum, and something that we are incredibly proud of, is what we call our future skills curriculum. So this is dedicated time on the timetable that all the pupils take part in effectively a carousel of activities across the years and across their time with us. And really this time on the curriculum is there to really specifically develop those soft skills that Leon was talking about, those 21st century skills of creativity, of collaboration, of communication, resilience and leadership, all the things I mentioned before. So you can see some of the examples that we've got on the screen there. There are many, many more that they take part in. We have forest schools, so we have forest school trained teachers who take the pupils out into our forests, whatever the weather, to get a bit of resilience and some team building. We've got robots, designing robots, producing podcasts, learning how to cook. We get all the pupils learning how to do basic first aid. We've got sign language coming onto our curriculum. And again, this is something that evolves and develops as we move on, but we are incredibly proud of it and the children absolutely love it. So we're very, very proud of our curriculum. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jen. And it's probably worth mentioning that we introduced our Future Skills programme, although it was called something different. It's 5 years now, and we're trying to develop it and for it to evolve every year. And we've got some new ideas about how we want to improve it further next year. But it is a really exciting part of our curriculum that the children love. And if you're on the tour today, there's an opportunity to actually experience it virtually, because we've got some VR sets in our Jubilee building. And you get to experience forest school and yoga and some cooking as well. So I highly recommend having a go at that. You get a real sense of our Future Skills programme. So thank you, Jen, for that. I'm going to hand over to Paul Symes now, who is in charge of our pastoral care.
Thanks, Leon. We're really, really proud of our outstanding pastoral care, which was highlighted in our inspection last year. And the team here have really 2 primary objectives, and that's to keep your child safe and to make sure they're happy. And we believe if that is the case, that will lead to academic success. I'm really proud of the tutors that contribute to the pastoral care. We've got an outstanding team of teachers that really take their time to get to know your children. and we tailor that pastoral care to the individuals. In addition to that, heads of year and our brilliant head of lower school, Miss Southern, support children on their journey through the school, and they act as a go-to for between our families and school life. In addition, the children absolutely love the house system that's on offer. I'm sure you'll hear the head boy and head girl speak about that in a little bit more detail later. And that provides really healthy competition, both in and outside the classroom, and not just amongst the children, amongst the staff as well. So that's interesting. We recognise as well that there will be some bumps along the road in your child's journey through the school, and the pastoral system is really set up to support that. So whether it's through just the tutor taking time to get to know your child and supporting them on that journey with yourselves in partnership, or whether it's through counselling provision. We have 3 outstanding counsellors that work alongside and support families. And we have a mentoring programme as well, which allows us to sort of personalise pastoral care for the children. Wellbeing is led throughout the school by our assistant head, Miss Russo. She's done an absolutely brilliant job. She's heavily planning or will have planned next week's Wellbeing Week with some wonderful opportunities for the children. But that week just showcases really what we do on a daily basis. And Leon made a really big commitment to wellbeing when he took over the role. And the Future Skills programme allows wellbeing to be driven through our curriculum and all academic subjects focus on the importance of it. And so we're really, really proud. In terms of transition, your child will be fully supported in their transition into the school. We plan a range of activities that really allow them to get into the sort of depths of Belmont and understand our values and meet new people and meet new friends. So that's really, really important. And I guess finally, I speak on a personal level. I've been here for 11 years now, and it is truly a wonderful school, and I'm really going to be sad to go, but the school, it's really exciting what's going to happen in the future, and the children absolutely love it. And I've been privileged to really see some wonderful journeys in that 11 years of the children leaving at Mill Hill and going on to achieve some absolutely amazing things academically and outside of school. Thank you, Leon.
Thank you very much, Paul. And there's no doubt that Paul has made a significant impact in his time as Deputy Pastoral. We've certainly enhanced our pastoral provision and have a much more personalised, even more nurturing system in place with the children's wellbeing absolutely at our heart. So thank you. Music, drama and sport are really important parts of the experience at Belmont. There's so many different groups for the children to be involved with in normal times, lots of different choirs, orchestras, jazz bands, string groups. There's over 20 peripatetic music teachers come in, so the pupils can have one-to-one lessons. Drama is also a real strength of the school. That's headed up by Libby Russo, assistant head wellbeing as well. But there's an opportunity for the children to perform on stage in each year group, varying different levels. But the pinnacle of the children's drama at Belmont is in year 8 with the year 8 play, which is just phenomenal. Last year we managed to squeeze Les Mis in before the pandemic, and it was just, the standard was just phenomenal. We have some really talented pupils in drama, and we've had a number of children performing in West End shows over the last couple of years as well. Sports also a really important part of the Belmont experience. We're blessed with some amazing grounds and some wonderful facilities, not least our new sports hall, but we've got some incredible teachers and coaches that have also played at the highest level as well. But we want to balance performance for those really talented sporty boys and girls. We want to be able to challenge them and push them on as much as we possibly can, but we also want to make sure everybody's absolutely loving their sport. This is Sophia Dunkley, who is an old Belmontian, and she got a sports scholarship, and she went to Mill Hill as well. In fact, she was the top batsman in the first 11 and best bowler in the first 11 over at the senior school, and she's currently playing for the England women's team. So we're incredibly proud of Sophia. So talking of sort of stretching the most able and where it can lead, another old Belmontian, Adam Rossington, he's currently the captain of Northamptonshire Cricket Club. We've got other pupils that have gone on to play rugby and football. We've had a Welsh international as well in recent years. So we're looking to build on that. So we've created some sports partnerships over the last few years, and Lottie's been instrumental in our most recent one. Lottie Goldthorpe has helped to get this partnership with Tottenham Hotspur together. So we've got the Spurs coaches coming in and adding a value to our games lessons and helping coach our teachers as well to develop our football coaching skills. We've got a partnership with Hampstead and Westminster Hockey Club, with Saracens Rugby and Saracens Mavericks Netball. And we are also the home of Middlesex girls and women's cricket. And I'm incredibly proud of so many things in my tenure as head over the last 6 years, whether it's new buildings or some amazing curriculum initiative. But when I see those covers on the fields, and the covers will be on the wicket today, that say Belmont Mill Hill, the home of Middlesex girls and women's cricket, that is something that just gets me there as a mad cricket fanatic. So these sporting partnerships really enable us to tap into some fantastic expertise and really inspire the children. We are going to be revamping our scholarships available for the September 2022 entry. We have academic scholarships available for children that do well in our admissions test. They'll be invited back for an interview. We introduced our sports scholarship. We've done it for 2 years now, and there's really exciting opportunities there. Even if you don't make it to the scholarship, there's other opportunities. We're getting on the performance pathway to really stretch those talented, sporty boys and girls. And we've always had a music scholarships, but from September 2022, we want to make it even broader. So we're going to be calling it a creative scholarship. So we want to see music scholars, but also we're looking for children who love being creative with art and design, or design and technology, and also those that are strong on drama. So we're going to be putting together a fantastic booklet which lays out the benefits and the additional value that being a scholar in these different areas, the academic, the creative and the sport, offers the children. And we're really trying to, as well as having academic and sport and music, we want to get even more creative children into our fantastic school. So watch this space for more information that's going to be coming out on scholarships. I'm going to hand over to James Fleet now, who's our Deputy Head Operations and Co-Curriculum. He's going to talk a little bit our co-curricular offer and also our wraparound care. James.
Thank you, Leon. Good morning, everyone. And I'm going to start by saying, and you've heard it already today, that the clubs programme is a real strength of our school. We pride ourselves on the quality and the quantity of clubs we offer each term. And in a non-COVID era, hopefully from September, we will have 100 clubs per term. And these run before school, lunchtime, and after school as well. And there's a real variety, and there is definitely something there for everyone to really enrich what they want to learn. The majority of clubs are part of the school fees, but we do have some that there is an additional charge, such as horse riding, karate, ceramics, and also our very impressive baking clubs that run every night of the week. Now, some examples I want to share with you now. We have a drone club, we have 3D design, robotics, STEAM junior and advanced. We have a Formula One challenge, which is absolutely amazing. And we reached the national finals last year as well. We have business enterprise. We have extension clubs for scholarship in year 7 and 8. And I must just touch on my swimming and fishing clubs, which are always oversubscribed and probably the best clubs as well. So talking about our sort of day trips and residential trips as well, they're really part of our enrichment program and really exciting. So non-COVID times, we want to get back out there and do some amazing day trips and the residential trips that Leon's touched on. We're hopefully starting in our activity week on the 28th of June this year. And these would normally start from year 5 upwards. The year 5s would go on a PGL for a couple of nights. Year 6 would go to France. Year 7 would go to the Lake District, and year 8 would go to Cornwall. But we also have some amazing European trips as well. We'd have French exchanges as well. We've been to Iceland, we've been to loads of places in Europe, but we'd also have ski trips as well. and we've visited America, and also we normally have a cricket tour to the Caribbean islands as well. And all of these experiences really develop the children's independent skills, communication, learning about new cultures, and hopefully leaving that mobile phone at home for a week or so is a great experience as well. So moving on to our next slide. So our wraparound and our school bus service as well. So our wraparound care would start from 7:30 in the morning. We serve an amazing breakfast from 7:30 until 8:15 each day, and we welcome the families to come in and then obviously leave the children in our care from 8:15 onwards. We have a late room service that runs from when the children finish school each afternoon until 6 o'clock each day. There is a small charge of £7.50 per hour, but the children get a chance to sort of do their homework for the first hour, and the second hour they have some time reading, or they can use the computers to research some things that they want to enjoy outside of school. We have a sibling supervision service as well that runs again after school until 4 o'clock each day. So 2 siblings, so the younger one would stay and start their prep, and then the older one would pick the child up. So you just have one pickup arrangement at 4 o'clock each afternoon. And then we have a fantastic service. We have a number of children that use the bus service. At the moment, we have about 150 children on school buses. And you can see there we have 6 different bus routes at the moment. They're all probably nearly full, but we're always looking to expand our routes further if there is a need. And just to sort of touch on the costings, we work on a termly basis. So if you want a return service, it roughly works out £12 per day, or a single service at the moment is £9. But we do have a terms notice for cancellations, but it really works very well. We have an amazing bus company called Hearns that do it, and the drivers all know the children, and it's a real personalised service as well. So that's it. But I'm around in the Jubilee today for further help if you're on a tour. So come and see me anyway. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, James. So just to highlight to you that over the last few years, we've invested a huge amount into our facilities. So we want to offer this exciting curriculum, but we've also created the facilities that create a really vibrant, learning and inspiring environment for the children to be able to have a love of learning. So we've got some new classrooms. Over the last 5 years, we spent over £10 million on some classroom blocks and a science building. We've created a music technology room, did a DT studio and computing suite. We've completely refurbished the library. A couple of years ago, we got a brand new art studio, and last year we opened our new sports hall as well, which looks fantastic, with cricket nets, obviously, and a climbing wall in there. We were inspected at the start of last year as well, and we're really pleased with the result that we had from the ISI report. We were rated both excellent for academic achievement as well as personal development, but more importantly, if you read the inspection, you get a real sense of almost warmth from the lead inspector, and I personally felt that they got us. They knew what we were about, and they understood what we were trying to achieve as a school. So it's definitely worth a read. But that's what the inspectors thought. I'm going to let you hear now what a couple of our Belmontian pupils think about Belmont and talk about their experience as Belmontians. So I'm going to hand over to Zarina and Leo. Who's going first?
I'm going first.
Okay, right. Over to Leo then, our head boy. Thank you, Leo.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Leo Davis, and I'm the head boy at Belmont. I wish you a warm welcome to our school, and I'll be telling you about my experience since joining in Year 7. After joining through the 11 plus in Year 7, I was delighted at how welcoming the staff and pupils were to me, as well as how easy it was to make friends in the first week. Coming from a very small primary school, Belmont's grounds completely stunned me at first glance. Surprisingly, it is actually easier to find your way around the school despite the vast size of Belmont. Whatever your interests are here at Belmont, there is something for you. Belmont offers over 60 clubs. There was even a drone flying club that took place before the first lockdown. Other clubs of interest also include debating, sketching, and rugby video analysis. I have always found my lessons to be engaging, filled with class discussion, and the teachers have encouraged me to go beyond what I thought I was capable of doing. My favourite subjects are maths and languages, and I achieved maths, English and science scholarships for Mill Hill. Teachers encourage us to have a growth mindset in our learning. Some of my favourite lessons this year have been in future skills when we learnt VEX robotics. One thing that we are very passionate about here is sport. When I joined the school in Year 7, I was thankfully given the opportunity to take part in the performance pathway. This has given me, as well as many other passionate sportsmen and women in my year, access to some amazing coaching from strength and conditioning to running technique, as well as hand-eye coordination skills. And even if your sporting interests go beyond rugby, cricket, football, netball or hockey, there is always something for you. Recently, we have learned how to play table tennis, use a climbing wall in the fantastic new sports hall, as well as athletics on the field. At Belmont, we have a very competitive Eton 5 team that have taken part in many competitions across different age groups. My advice for children starting at Belmont in September, other than the very important 3 values at Belmont, be kind, try your best, and embrace challenge, is to work hard and to express yourself as much as you can. You will always be discovering new interests, and from experience, find yourself in very interesting clubs that you wouldn't have seen yourself in 6 months before. I strongly believe that I've made many friends for life here at Belmont, and the whole experience has set me up for a very successful move to senior school. Thank you.
Thank you, Leo. Very well done. Superb. Thank you for that. Zarina, would you like to talk about your experience?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Belmont's Open Morning. My name is Zarina Kathari, and I'm the head girl for the summer term. I have a twin brother who came to Belmont in Year 3, whilst I went to a different school. Every day he would come home with a smile on his face, gushing about the forest schools lesson or the Eggmobile cart he designed in DT. The more he told of the projects he was completing, the more I doubted my choice of not coming to the school at 7+. So during the Christmas break, I made the decision to enroll at Belmont for a second time, earning a place in Year 4. For me, the selling point for Belmont was the sports day. It is an event like no other. In late June, with the sun shining, complementing the beautiful grounds, while the pupils run, jump and throw, all with their housemates and parents cheering them on. I have enjoyed the learning experience very much at Belmont and look forward to building on my learning at Mill Hill. Lessons are fun, interesting and challenging. Lessons online were great, and we were also pleased that live lessons carried on through lockdown, but it's so much better now we are back in our classrooms at school. Since coming back, I've been particularly enjoying my maths and science lessons. My love of sport and competition has been nourished at Belmont. It's also transcended into the classroom. My teachers have nurtured me and my talents and pushed me to be the best version of myself, helping me to excel in my subjects. My hard work combined with my teacher's support enabled me to gain both a sports scholarship and a full academic scholarship. My friends and I have also been encouraged to use our voices to share what is important to us and young people to address the big issues in the world. This is another way teachers have demonstrated they care both about our education and our well-being. I simply don't have the time to cover everything that I love about, and I'm grateful for Belmont. However, I hope your child takes their first chance to say yes and comes to this incredible school. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Well done, Zarina. Thank you. Thank you to both of you. Zarina, that was almost poetic in parts. It's lovely. I'm glad you came to your senses by the time we got to Year 4 as well. Well done. Well done. Right, thank you. So that's a little bit of a flavour of the Belmontian experience from the Belmont pupils. And hopefully when things ease a little bit, you'll be able to hear more. If you have some additional tours and come in on other open mornings, you'll be able to speak to more of the pupils who really will give you a sense about what it's like. But come when you can, come in during a normal school day as well and just get a feel for the atmosphere. So I popped into Mr. Symes's office yesterday and I saw this book on his desk. You can tell that he's preparing for headship and thinking about his philosophy for his new school and what he's going to be saying in his first staff meeting. But this is a great book, and I think, and I hope Paul feels this way because he's also been at Belmont as well, because I feel we are a restless school, because we're constantly looking at ways to try and improve the offer for the children. We're constantly striving to try and get better in everything that we do. So, as I mentioned before, Jen Lumsden's looking at the timetable to see how we can enhance the offer there for September. You don't know this yet, Zarina and Leo, but we're having an initial conversation with the heads of houses about how we can improve the house system further. The possibility of introducing 2 new houses, and that's something that's going to be discussed by you guys in the school council in the next week or so. So looking at how we can further enhance the personalised pastoral care. Digital learning, it's gone well this year. Peter Fannon has led it brilliantly, the online learning provision. We've got blended learning going on at the moment. So if any children are off because of a COVID related reason, the teachers are teaching their lesson, but they've also got live lessons, live streaming to the pupils at home. But we're looking at how we can take our digital learning to the next step and looking at what devices. We've got a couple of 100 Chromebooks in school, but we're looking at the next step to enhance our digital learning. And our sports facilities, we've got some great facilities. We've got our new sports hall, but we're also hoping and in the initial stages of thinking about a new Astro, which if you join us in September 2022, I'm really hopeful that we'll have a new larger Astro turf by then that would be great for the hockey, but also to enhance the facilities for a lot of other sports as well. And finally, something that we are starting already is looking at our outdoor learning provision. So Jen Lumsden, along with our eco coordinator, Miss van der Westhuizen. It's taken me a couple of years to learn how to say it. I'm still struggling with the spelling, but she's so passionate about outdoor learning. And we're looking at additional areas that we can create around our school so we can have more learning spaces for the children and wellbeing spaces. So we're looking at a music garden. We're looking at moving our eco garden, and where the current eco garden is, having an outdoor classroom, which we use as our base for forest schools. We're looking at a Japanese wellbeing garden as well. And we're also going to invest in, we've got our own fishing pond and nature reserve, and they're great, but we want to make them, really give them the wow factor and just allow the children the opportunity to have an enhanced learning experience outside and improve their well-being at the same time. So we're a school that doesn't stand still. We're constantly looking at ways to reflect and to improve. So if you are interested in exploring Belmont as a possible option for your child, these are the admissions dates. So for most of you watching will be, I think, looking for 11 plus for September 2022. So the deadline for applications is the 12th of November 2021, and we'll be having some assessments on Saturday the 20th of November, and the assessments will be, there'll be a digital test. We use the Chem Select, which tests in numerical, verbal and non-verbal ability. There'll be interviews, which with a pastoral and an academic focus. We do a nice team building activity as well. So getting the small groups of children to solve problems together and to work collaboratively. There's a short written exercise also, and we just hope to create a really nice feel on the day for the children. Lots of activities, and they get a bit of a tour as well. Your child's reference from their current school is also an important part of our admissions process. There are some chance vacancies. So we mentioned there's a few places at 7+, so it could be up to 10 places at 7+, so coming into year 3. And there's the odd chance vacancy in other year groups that can come up throughout the year. So finally from me, before we answer some of your questions, why Belmont? Well, there's 3 things I think that are worth mentioning and as useful as takeaways. I think the fact that we are a 13+ school, the fact that we're a prep school that has a year 7 and a year 8 is really important, because we believe that 13+ is the right age for children to transfer to senior school. As someone who worked in a secondary school for a number of years, the offer and the experience for children in year 7 and year 8 is very different being at the top of a prep school, where you have all those opportunities to be head of house and prefects and tour guides and buddies to the younger children. It's very different to being a year 7 and year 8 in a much bigger secondary school. And in fact, there was an article in the Times on Monday about a study by the University College of London, and it talked about how some children in secondary school last year had flourished because they were in bubbles, because they were kept away from the older children. So it helped them to feel more comfortable in their new setting. Well, we have got a custom-made bubble system. Obviously, we're in bubbles at the moment because we have to be. But our year 7 and 8 are in their own bubble here because they have the opportunity to be at the top of the school, to have that academic stretch, but also to develop that confidence, to develop those social skills. So when they get to year 9, they are ready for that transition. And I think it makes a huge difference. So 13 plus transfer is why you should consider Belmont. Another one is our grounds. We've got 35 acres. The senior school's got over 100 acres. We've got our own woodland, we've got our own nature reserve, we've got our own cross-country course, we've got so many different sports pitches. It just gives the children the space to breathe, the space to have freedom and to enjoy being children, to enjoy their childhood. And finally, it's the people. There's just an amazing atmosphere here. The children are fantastic. We are a happy school and we've got some amazing staff who get the best out of the children, and you need to come and visit us on a normal school day. And we had a recent visit from the Good Schools Guide, well, a virtual visit, and this is what they said. It gives us, Belmont gives the children room to grow into the very best version of themselves. So have a look at that recent Good Schools Guide report as well. So thank you so much for listening. As I said, we've got next open morning is on the 9th of October, but if you want to come and see us before then, get in touch with Irene as head of admissions and we can arrange a personalised, safe tour for you.